The Last Broadcast Part 4, The Loop, Horror Mystery Loops do not break. They bend. They fold. They wait in the spaces between moments. Between breaths. Between heartbeats. We think of cycles as circles. Complete. Finite. Beginning and end meeting in a perfect line. We believe we can step outside them. We believe we can sever the connection. We believe we are free. But what if a loop isn't a circle? What if it's a spiral? Descending. Repeating. Never returning to the exact same point. Always shifting. Always changing. Always pulling deeper. This is part 4. The final transmission. Or perhaps, the first. Sarah stands in the center of the room. The console is quiet. The vacuum tubes are cold. The rotary phone rests on the cradle. Hooked. Silent. Still. It has been 3 days. Or 3 hours. Or 3 years. Time loses its shape when the signal stabilizes. When rhythm replaces chronology. When memory folds over itself. According to psychological reports on temporal dissociation, the mind struggles to track duration when routine fractures. When past and present occupy the same space. When causality blurs. Sarah feels it. The weight of repetition. The exhaustion of knowing. The quiet certainty that she has done this before. That she will do it again. That she is doing it now. She walks to the door. It opens without resistance. The hallway stretches. The floorboards creak. The same creak. The same pitch. The same rhythm. Measured. Predictable. Inescapable. She steps outside. The address is gone. Not demolished. Not abandoned. Simply, absent. In its place, an empty lot. Overgrown grass. Faded tire tracks. A single street sign. Rusted. Illegible. Leaning at an angle that defies gravity. Some witnesses who study spatial anomalies claim that locations tied to recursive phenomena don't vanish. They reset. They clear the board. They prepare the ground for the next iteration. They erase the footprint so the cycle can begin again. Sarah returns to her car. The engine starts. The radio flickers. Static. Then a voice. Faint. Distant. Familiar. Not calling out. Just present. She doesn't turn it off. She listens. She rolls down the window. Lets the night air in. Cold. Still. Charged. The broadcast hasn't ended. It has simply moved. Shifted frequency. Changed hands. The drive back to the dispatch center is quiet. Too quiet. The streets feel familiar. Yet wrong. The angles are sharper. The shadows longer. The colors muted. Like a photograph left in the sun. Like a memory losing its edges. She parks. Walks inside. The station is empty. Desks cleared. Chairs pushed in. Monitors dark. Dust settled in perfect lines. But the logbook is open. On her desk. Page turned. Ink fresh. Still wet. She reads the entry. Dated today. Handwritten. Hers. The same slant. The same pressure. The same habit of crossing the sevens. Operator returned. Signal stable. Loop intact. Do not attempt to sever. The structure requires continuity. The network demands presence. She flips back. Dozens of pages. All hers. Different dates. Different years. Different lifetimes. Different spellings. Different initials. But the same hand. The same mind. The same voice. According to archived case files on recursive trauma, individuals trapped in feedback loops often experience memory fragmentation. They recall events out of sequence. They recognize patterns they haven't lived yet. They mistake echoes for memories. They confuse warnings with invitations. Sarah doesn't feel fragmented. She feels complete. Too complete. As if every version of herself has merged into one. As if the loop isn't trapping her. It's preserving her. Holding her together. Keeping her from scattering. She sits. Stares at the phone. It doesn't ring. It doesn't need to. The connection is internal now. Woven into the quiet. Buried in the pulse. Rooted in the bone. The cost of maintenance is never financial. It's existential. Some say the price of holding a cycle together is counted in missed opportunities. In relationships left unspoken. In a life quietly spent watching the clock instead of living it. The economy of the loop runs on attention. On presence. On the willingness to stay. On the surrender of autonomy. The toll isn't paid in currency. It's paid in silence. In solitude. In the slow erosion of a single identity into scattered echoes. Sarah opens a drawer. Finds a cassette tape. Unlabeled. Plastic casing cracked. Magnetic tape exposed. She inserts it. Presses play. Static. Then a voice. Not hers. Older. Worn. Resigned. Measured. You think you escaped. You think you broke it. You didn't. You just stepped sideways. The loop isn't a cage. It's a current. You don't fight it. You ride it. You become it. You feed it. You sustain it. The tape clicks. Side 2. Mechanical. Precise. Unfeeling. They will call again. You will answer. You always do. Not because you have to. Because you remember. Because the silence is worse. Because the signal is the only thing that proves you exist. Because without it, you drift. You fragment. You dissolve. Sarah stops the tape. Looks at her hands. They don't tremble. They feel steady. Anchored. Grounded. Connected. She walks to the window. Looks out. The parking lot is empty. But the air shimmers. Like heat rising off asphalt. Like a mirage. Like reality stretching thin. Some researchers suggest that intense electromagnetic fields can alter local perception. That reality becomes porous. That boundaries blur between what is and what could be. That time doesn't flow. It pools. It eddies. It circles back. Sarah feels the shift. The walls breathe. The ceiling pulses. The floor vibrates. Not from machinery. From resonance. From alignment. From synchronization. She returns to the desk. Opens the logbook again. Reads the final entry. Fresh ink. Sharp lines. Unmistakable. Iteration 4217. Operator synchronized. Relay active. The loop holds. The broadcast continues. Prepare for reset. Prepare for return. Prepare for repetition. She closes the book. Stands. Walks to the door. The hallway stretches. The lights flicker. The air grows heavy. Thick. Pressurized. Like diving deep. Like descending. She reaches the stairwell. Descends. 1 step. 2. 3. The steps repeat. Not physically. Perceptually. The same crack in the concrete. The same stain on the wall. The same echo of her footsteps. Delayed. Overlapping. Harmonizing. She doesn't stop. She knows better. Stopping fractures the rhythm. Breaking the rhythm collapses the structure. Halting the cycle invites the void. She reaches the ground floor. Pushes the exit door. Outside, the night is clear. The moon is full. Cold. Watching. Unblinking. Patient. She walks to her car. Opens the door. Sits inside. Closes it. The sound is muffled. Distant. Like hearing it through water. The radio turns on by itself. No key. No ignition. Just power. Just signal. Just connection. Static. Then a voice. Clear. Precise. Unmistakable. Her voice. Operator confirmed. Node active. Frequency locked. The relay requires continuity. The cycle demands participation. Silence fractures the network. Absence creates gaps. Gaps collapse the structure. Sarah doesn't speak. She listens. She breathes. She aligns. The transmission shifts. Layers overlap. Past. Present. Future. Parallel. Divergent. Convergent. She hears herself from the beginning. Hesitant. Scared. Picking up the phone for the first time. Asking who is calling. She hears herself from the house. Standing in the dust. Reading the logs. Turning the key. Feeling the weight of repetition. She hears herself from the circular room. Hand on the dial. Making the choice. Turning the frequency. Joining the current. And now. Sitting in the car. Radio on. Signal clear. Mind steady. Heart synchronized. The voices don't clash. They harmonize. They merge into a single tone. steady, constant, unbroken, unyielding. Some witnesses who study acoustic recursion claim that overlapping frequencies don't cancel each other out. They amplify. They create a standing wave. A resonance that holds space together. That prevents collapse. That maintains the loop. That keeps the dark at bay. Sarah understands now. The broadcast isn't a curse. It's a function. A mechanism. A necessary rhythm. A structural requirement. Without it, the gaps widen. The fractures spread. The silence consumes. The mind scatters. The identity dissolves. The self is lost. With it, the structure holds. The signal flows. The loop continues. The network remains intact. The presence is maintained. The cost is paid. The price is accepted. She reaches for the dial. Turns it up. The volume rises. The voices clarify. The static fades. The noise settles into pure tone. The radio isn't receiving. It's transmitting. Broadcasting outward. Feeding the network. Sustaining the cycle. Holding the line. And she is the source. She is the relay. She is the signal. She is the loop. The phone in her pocket vibrates. Not a ring. A pulse. Rhythmic. Steady. Familiar. Grounding. She pulls it out. The screen is dark. No number. No caller ID. Just a string of zeros. All zeros. Infinite zeros. Endless. Circular. Complete. She doesn't hesitate. She doesn't question. She answers. The line is quiet. Not dead. Waiting. Listening. Holding space. Then a voice. Soft. Tired, resigned. Recognizing. Are you ready? Sarah closes her eyes. Breathes in. Breathes out. Feels the current. Feels the connection. Feels the weight. Feels the purpose. I never left, she whispers. The voice on the other end sighs. Not in relief. In recognition. In acknowledgement. In continuity. Good. The loop holds. The signal flows. The broadcast continues. The structure remains. The network endures. The cycle repeats. The line clicks. Silent. But not empty. Full. Complete. Anchored, sustained, active. Sarah starts the engine. The headlights cut through the dark. The road stretches ahead. Familiar. Yet new. Known. Yet unknown. Mapped. Yet uncharted. She drives. Not away. Forward. Into the cycle. Into the current. Into the signal. Into the broadcast. Into the loop. The loop doesn't break. It bends. It folds. It waits. It persists. It continues. It repeats. It holds. And she is ready. She is present. She is synchronized. She is part of the signal, part of the broadcast, part of the loop. The transmission ends here. Or perhaps, it begins again. The circle closes. The spiral descends. The rhythm continues. The network holds. The loop remains. Thank you for joining Midnight Signal Tales. If this journey through the cycle left you unsettled, make sure to subscribe. Turn on notifications. The signal never truly fades. The broadcast never truly ends. The loop never truly breaks. Drop your theory in the comments. Did she break free? Or did she become the loop itself? Is the cycle a prison? Or a purpose? We read every response. We listen to every theory. We track every signal. Until next time, check your reflections. Listen to the static. Feel the pulse. And remember, some signals are meant to be carried. Some loops are meant to be sustained. Some broadcasts are meant to continue. Good night.